station. Be the call, the escalation. This is your radio salvation. Go, 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 go.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Thoughts Count Anywhere, coming to you live from the Go Live Vegas studios in the heart and steamy Las Vegas, Nevada. I am Aaron Phillips, sitting in at the dais today. In the middle, we've let him out of the cage. Mr. Jason Piper joins us. How are you, sir?
Good, sir. How are you?
Doing very well, thank you. And at the far end, the man, the myth behind our website, all-around good guy, and don't mess with me. I am security at Fremont Street, Neonopolis. Mr. Matt Mullen, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for the introduction.
You got it. I read it just the way you wrote it. Obviously, you noticed by his absence, Mr. Scott Hosey, who's normally here with us, unfortunately is tending to some personal matters right now. He will be back in studio with us next week, unless, of course, he's up to joining us in the chat room later or making a quick call. But meantime, he's busy. So the three of us will be holding down the fort in his absence. Want to thank everybody for tuning in. We've got a big show, literally breaking news right before we went on the air. Jason, why don't you tell everybody who our guests will be later on in the show?
Our guest, not in the studio, but on the phone, will be none other than Tiny Deebo Lester. Tiny Lester played Deebo on Friday, as well as Zeus in No Holds Barred against Hulk Hogan.
There you go. You see his picture up on the screen. Plus, he was in the Batman movies, right, with the Joker episode with Christian Bale. And many other movies to his credit. So that'll be exciting. This literally broke right before it went on the air. So we've been kind of putting it out there to as many sites as we can. Of course, as always, we anticipate a lot of interaction in the chat room, which, of course, we are monitoring. And as always, you can always send us a tweet, live tweet to appear on the screen using hashtag ThoughtsCountAnywhere. Also, too, of course, will be in the chat room. But more importantly, give us a call at 702-329-6947. If you're outside the United States, 855-502-4321. The chat rooms are filling up. Give a couple of quick shout-outs. Dawn Tuffanelli's in there. Palomino, Kim, Justin Chucko, I haven't seen in a while. Paul, ton of people. Ben Holcomb, John Evans, a ton of people in there tonight. Thomas Burnett, good to see you, sir. And I expect that we'll probably see Chief somewhere along the way here, as always, right? So,
yeah.
Gentlemen, how was your week since we last convened here at Thoughts Count Anywhere Arena? Sounded good as it came out. I don't know. It just sort of happened. How you guys doing? What's up? What's up in your worlds?
Not much. Just been working a lot, dealing with the heat and masks and bums and...
Oh, my.
Oh, my, yeah.
Oh, my.
Sounds like a song about to happen there. Jason, how about you, sir, since we last met? What's going on?
Busy. Just keep busy at the store at Power Play Sports at the Boulevard Mall.
There you go. Hours of operation?
Hours of operation are Monday through Sunday, 11 to 6.
And
I'm sorry, 11 to 7.
11
I was
to
going to
7,
say, there you
sir.
go. Just cheated an hour out of the boss.
Exactly,
there.
right.
And of course, if you can't make it down to the store, what's the website address for purchases?
PowerPlaySportsCollectibles.com.
There you go. By the way, if you like swag, you'll notice on our table here 2 coffee mugs that now you can purchase. Let me grab one so we can switch to the close camera there. This is what we call product placement. Go Live Vegas now. You can buy swag, merchandise, courtesy of the GoLive.Vegas website. Of course, there will be merchandise that will appear there very soon of probably most of the shows here, but especially Thoughts Count Anywhere. We'll have a page up there for shirts and hats and who knows whatever else, right?
Coming soon.
Coming soon to a store near you. All right, let's get started with I Hear Voices. As soon as I can get my mouth in gear with my tongue would be okay.
Blah, blah,
All right, kick us off, gentlemen.
Austin, I'll do it. Whatever, which one?
Flip a coin.
Austin Theory has been missing in action since June 8th, and there is a rumor there has been a suspension of sorts with nothing else elaborated.
It's always like one of those things you hear in press conferences. Things happen because of a glitch. I got to be honest with you. I didn't even realize he was missing. I mean, what does that say?
No one cared.
I knew he was missing, but it's kind of weird they didn't elaborate on anything. Maybe it's to do with like the Me Too thing when like allegations came out against him.
That's right. That's right. Forgot about that.
It's the only thing I can think of because I heard management loves him backstage. That's why he got like the most massive push in forever. Went from like a nobody in NXT to with Seth Rollins within weeks?
Right. Well, wasn't Murphy the first one? He was the first disciple, right? And then Theory came along after that, correct?
Yeah.
Or actually, AOP was the first too, right?
It was Murphy, AOP, and then AOP dropped. Then Theory left Andrade and Garza and Selena. He was fired from them, and then Seth picked him up.
Gotcha. Did you get all of that, folks? There'll be a test later. Now, why are they not using the other guy from AOP? We know one is injured. And apparently they're not using the other one because of the injury to the first one. Why would you not still use the other guy's muscle?
I think when like Vince has like a thing when like tag teams get injured, if one of them's injured, they just tell the other one to go away until...
Big E, though, is certainly not going down that path, right? He's getting a singles run.
He's getting a singles run, but it's the
well overdue.
Prime example, though, is the Usos.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, it's a great point.
And the Revival, there was always one of them hurt, but they never let the other one like do anything.
Right, that's true. Yeah, that's a good point. You know, there's the tendency there, and I guess Big E is really the one that's kind of the exception at this point to that rule. So that's a good point. Well, so don't look for Austin Theory to be back on TV anytime soon, I guess. More news to follow. This is a developing story. We'll keep following and send you the information. All right, next topic.
WWE's found a new location for SummerSlam that they have yet to reveal, but they haven't announced where the location is or if fans will allowed to attend or not. So hopefully soon we'll realize where SummerSlam is and hopefully get back to some kind of normalcy of WWE, but I doubt it.
Are we 100% certain that it's not going to be at the PC, or is this a swerve? Because I haven't seen anything to what was reported there. So
it'd be great if he just doesn't say we're not doing it inside the Performance Center. We're doing it in the parking lot.
That's a good point. That's true. That's what I wouldn't surprise. Would it surprise you though if that's what they did? I mean,
not at all.
Right? I mean, we talked about a boat last week. They were talking about doing it. Maybe Hogan's Island, which almost sounds like the TV show Hogan's Heroes. But they talked about. But where else could they do it? No arena, no stadium is going to open up to them, right?
No.
So where else could it? Would not surprise me, like you said, especially with the dare I use the word glitches again that we saw this past Monday night with the fire that went on outside, the lights flickering. Maybe Vince will say, you know what, we don't want to have it inside because of all these issues. Let's just have it outside and go for broke, I guess. Wouldn't surprise anybody, would it?
No, not really.
That, then again, who saw Raw Underground coming? So anyway, I digress. We'll talk about that, I'm sure, in a few minutes. Speaking of which, next topic. 702-329-6947. Give us a call because I will tell you that our guest coming up at the bottom of the hour, Mr. Zeus, Tiny Lester, he will be calling in on the phone line. So once he's on the air, our phone lines will be tied up. So if you want to get your questions or comments in before, or even give us a question that we can ask him when he comes on your behalf, we'd love to do that. And then phones will open back up once we're completed with our interview. Okay. As I mentioned, WWE Debuts of Raw Underground. Will it be a flop? Do we see potential? Matt Riddle says, kind of looks like an indie event blood sport, as well as carrying across saying it also compared to natural born killers, and both want to be involved in Raw Underground. Your thoughts, gentlemen, before I give mine.
I think it was a crap show like the first week, but I think I'll probably have a pretty unpopular opinion about this. I think it has a lot of potential.
Okay.
The one thing I really want to see out of it, everybody wants to see Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar. Why not do it in Raw Underground, kind of under MMA rules, kind of how they're doing it? I think that's like the one upside that they can do of something like that. But
Okay.
What a way to bring Ronda back.
that too.
Interesting. One of you just said it was a shit show.
Well,
And first of all, I thought they could have done more with Shane. I expected something very different that was going to appeal to the mass audiences on any of the storylines that they're trying to get going, especially going into SummerSlam, right? I mean, you would think with, 2-3 weeks left, you're going to be trying to build these storylines. Shane, I thought, did a horrendous job of calling the matches, trying to build that excitement. Oh, that's devastating. Oh, my God, all right. You know, I thought it was just, I was not impressed. It just ended up being a squash scenario for that big guy whose name I can't even remember, Ooga Booga, whatever his name
it
was.
looked like a poor Fight Club is what it looked like.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get. And then, of course, the Hurt Business showing up at the end because they got pissed because, you know, Apollo Crews won his belt and Benjamin lost his belt. I mean, it did, to me, it did nothing. But I like the idea. Ronda slipping in with Lashley and Lesnar with the MMA field to it.
Well, you could
Maybe.
you could also have Ronda slipping in with Shayna.
I just had Baszler's name
Because
kicking
the
in my
fact
head.
that
Yeah.
you got Sasha and Bailey saying they can beat anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Put them in that entity with the Ronda and Shayna and watch out.
And we forget that Matt Riddle also was MMA background.
Yeah, he was in the UFC
Right?
and he started that blood sport thing, was like MMA, like kind of wrestling rules.
So do we see SmackDown Underground happening this week or some facsimile
God.
thereof? Because
I think it would have been like put on a lot better if like Shane McMahon wasn't the face of it, because everyone just thinks he has like the face everybody wants to punch or something. Like everybody hates him. So if he wasn't like the face of it and it was somebody like everybody liked, I think it would have been like
Kurt Angle?
a lot more of a positive reaction to it, except for the hate upon hate I have seen online since Monday.
but I just felt that he was just trying too hard in a lot of ways. I mean, the way, first of all, when he comes out with the you know, when he's talking to the microphone and his hand when he points and with the fingers but just his verbiage and his trying to call some semblance of play-by-play in the background after 3 or 4 punches and forearms to the poor 200-pound nothing guy on the ground when he's got a 500-pound gorilla on him, pounded him. Oh, that was awesome. That was it. These things didn't go on for more than, 30 seconds?
Yeah.
I thought it was terrible.
That was the other bad part about it. Nothing lasted more than a couple seconds to establish even somebody's name.
Yeah, right.
By the time you like remembered their name, I'm like, oh, that's over already. Who's the next person?
That's why it was just like to me, it was just nothing more than a glorified squash matches for that guy. No
Yeah.
different than you would see in the ring when they're doing squash matches to get somebody over.
True.
But what do I know about hockey? Next topic.
Hockey.
Yeah, exactly. Thomas Burnett asks, what is this, the 1990s? Only one phone line? Well, listen, we put every dollar into all the cameras and great digital work here, so we have to cut corners somewhere, and we'll have one phone line for now. So send us smoke signals
Great
up.
one says you can kiss his ass.
There you go.
Straight from the producer.
There you go. So send us smoke signals, Thomas, and we'll get your comment in. Anyway, all right. Jason, give us the next topic, or whoever's turn it is. Oh, you like that one? All right. So I'll go ahead, Matt. Give us the next one.
WWE announced on their website that the 5 men that set fire to the generator that caused all the disturbances during Monday Night Raw name is Retribution, which apparently they like completely trashed this debut because I guess it was like a crap show backstage too, because I guess they were supposed to do stuff to him, reveal who they were or something to that effect. But all they did was light something on fire, and they're like, "Oh, by the way, here's her name on the website."
You son of a bitch.
Come on, baby.
There's probably a
light
lot of
my
that going on in the
fire.
writers' room too.
Well, if you a lot of word came out the next day that Vince had everything on fire in the back literally in the background, was not happy with anything, was in one of his moods prior to the show going live, well, on the air, even though it was recorded, but
Yeah.
up until, Showtime seems to be his MO, he's changing stuff left and right. So how can you expect any consistency in the show? He obviously, I think there's a reason behind pulling the name, and that is it gives reason to
Yeah.
people to tune in next week. All right, I buy that, but there's right ways to do things, and there's not so right ways to do things.
As long
So,
as there was 5 of them and not 4 of them, so you know it's not the Undisputed Era.
Right.
Because if that was them, I would be furious.
So speculation as to who might be a part of this group. I mean, I know Thomas Ciampa's name came up, I saw online, as one possible.
I could see that. He hasn't been on NXT in a while, so.
Well, not since Cross took care of him, right?
Yeah.
So
That's the only name I heard, so I don't know who the other 4 could possibly be.
All right, let's step aside for our first break, because coming up in about 10 minutes, 12 minutes or so, our guest, Tiny Lester, will be joining us on the phone. We want to get back to some of our news here, and of course, we want to get back to you, our viewer. Give us a call before our guest calls in at 702-329-6947. Send us a tweet, send us a message, and we will get back to it. You are watching Thoughts Count Anywhere with Jason, Matt, myself, Scott, out on special reporting, and we'll be back right after this. For all your sports collectibles in Las Vegas, stop by Power Play Sports Collectibles in the Boulevard Mall. Power Play has a large selection of items from all your favorite teams, specializing in the Vegas Golden Knights, Las Vegas Raiders, and pro wrestling. Power Play Sports Collectibles has an online store if you prefer the online shopping experience, plus they ship worldwide. So if you're looking for that sports collectible for yourself or that special someone, check out Power Play Sports Collectibles online at www.powerplaysportscards.com or at the Boulevard Mall.
Old world recipes, old world style, old world taste. Burnt Offerings at 3909 West Sahara Avenue is where the old world meets Las Vegas for a dining experience like no other. Burnt Offerings, where foodies dine.
What's up, guys? It's Jeff Cobb here. Come check out Power Play Sports Collectibles. Buy some collectibles, buy some wrestling figures, and all that fun stuff.
Yes, we are. We are back, better than ever.
That sounded so wrong.
I know. I was trying to hold back a cough
Guess
there.
who's back? Back again.
There you go. I got some water down there between break, and it didn't go anywhere.
Inconceivable!
That's right. Oh, I can picture the guy who said that, too. What's his name? He was in The Princess Bride with Andre, the story about oh, never mind. All right, we're back. Next topic on the Raw storyline. Matt Riddle said in a podcast interview that his comments to Brock were work and was just trying to keep his name out there, but he thinks Brock really hates him and found his comments to be disrespectful. I got 2 words for you, Matt Riddle. You think? I mean, he didn't prove anything to anybody, and he's going out. Now, okay, you're going to go after somebody, you want to cause a little heat, all right. But why Brock? We know he only likes enough people that you can probably count on less than one hand.
So does it look like Brock has much of a sense of humor?
Yeah, exactly, except unless you're R-Truth.
It's like the only person to ever crack him.
Yeah,
ever.
exactly.
Or
So,
Shelton.
yeah, that's true. Well, but Shelton already has an in with him because
Right.
they wrestled together. They were schoolmates and
Yeah,
everything.
they're
but
like college roommates.
yeah, so I'm not surprised that if we were to, if Brock were to say, yeah, I really don't like the guy, I don't think it would surprise.
If I was married to
us
Sable, I'd probably have a smile on my face a little more than he does.
all. That's very true. Very true. He did very well there in that market. But anyway, what website did you mention? Thomas says, so Cage Boy can't get the name of the website right? What website did you mention? Did I miss?
I said it right.
What website did you mention? Did I miss?
PowerPlaySportsCollectibles.com.
Oh, it's PowerPlaySportsCards.com.
Oh, well, sorry.
There you go. So, okay. Thank you, Thomas. There you go.
Shut up, Thomas.
There you go. Schnikey's at its best. And you only work there.
I don't send anyone to the website. They go on their own.
But when somebody calls in or comes in, they say, hey, do you have a website?
Yeah, it's called give them a business card.
I say he must read it off the business card and never remembers what's on the business card.
Don't you watch Thoughts Count Anywhere to get the website address?
Ours is thoughtscountanywhere.com.
That is true. And do we not have a
I
link?
remember.
Yeah, well, you made it. You should remember. Do we have a link back to the store on there, to PowerPlay?
Yeah, it's right on the top of the screen. It
Let's
says
just do it
sponsored
that
by
way.
PowerPlay.
There you go. So go to
cards.com.
There you go. And as a matter of fact, the QR code, see, he caught the Q. The QR code is now up on the screen. So anytime during the live show,
It's that way.
it's right over here. It's right over here.
It's over.
Everybody's trying to. This is not the Weatherman channel, folks. If you expected the Weather channel,
There is no green screen.
That's right. Anyway, put your QR code reader up to that during the live show or during a replay, and we'll take you to where?
thoughtscountanywhere.com.
There you go. Get all the news and highlights and information, all that's fit to print in the wrestling world, and of course links to all of our shows and other news and highlights that we want to share. Richie from Minnesota, I see, is in the chat room. Buddy, how are you tonight? All
Keep
right,
an eye out, too. There's going to be some kind of giveaway on the website
Ooh,
that you'll only find on the website.
we call that a tease. Next topic.
Dominic Mysterio is going to debut at SummerSlam against Seth Rollins, the same event his dad and Eddie Guerrero were fighting custody for him 15 years ago.
Boy, I remember that storyline and that whole build-up.
I remember that too, and I saw the picture of him as a little kid during that event, and now I was like, dear God, I feel old.
Yeah, right? That was 15 years ago,
That
right?
does not seem that long ago. I remember making fun of that match when it happened.
That's right. I mean, couldn't they have done better than a bloodline paternity thing? Right? 15 years ago? So what is he, like 21 now or 20?
23.
Somewhere
20,
around there.
I mean,
Yeah.
my God, he wasn't even 10 years old when he was
I'm
exploited.
old.
I mean, used
I'm
then.
old as dirt.
True.
I'm old.
Wow.
I'm old.
What kind of pressure is that to have to debut at SummerSlam against Seth Rollins?
By
I guess he got a
yourself.
good working partner, I guess.
I guess so. And by himself, because at least in the storyline with Guerrero 15 years ago, his dad was there. You know, he had a little different support system, but now he's going to be in the ring by himself, theoretically.
His dad might have an eye on the match, though.
I bet he will keep both good eyes, or at least one eye on the match for sure. I'm sure he told Dominic to make sure all the T's and I's were dotted when he signed the contract. Okay, next topic.
That's not the bell.
No. Now, the next news, go ahead for it there, Mr. Jason.
All right, next news. The Rock, along with business partner and ex-wife, Danny Garcia, along with Redbird Capital, bought the XFL for $15 million.
Okay, I got to say this. I'm married over 30 years. I've tried multiple businesses at home. I've tried so many times to get my wife involved in them on many different levels, and she would have nothing to do with it. How do you get an ex-wife to be involved in buying something like the XFL, to have that kind of relationship and still be involved?
They've been business partners ever since they were like married, and I guess it just kept going.
Wow.
But I guess I read an interview it was on ESPN.com that it was her idea. She called The Rock and was like, we need to do this.
Really?
Because he always wanted to be in the NFL. That was like his first dream before
Sure.
WWE. So for him to own the XFL, and with The Rock does everything big, and
Right.
it's always super popular, whatever he puts his hands in. So
Now,
it's
to
probably
me-
the best scenario for him to buy it.
and I heard he's got a clothesline.
Yeah.
That they're going to maybe tie in the clothesline with the players and
Under
all this
Armour.
other stuff. Oh, but $15 million seems really, really cheap to buy X because they had a lot of debt in that company when they filed and ended the season.
Yeah, with a debt and no TV deal, you can buy anything for super cheap.
I guess so.
Vince bought WCW for like $2 million.
Apparently, our producer here, who is from Canada and Calgary specifically, CFL crushed him in Calgary with the Stampeders. And of course, we're talking about The Rock and his desire to play football. So they cut him loose, and that's why he became a wrestler. And as he ends his information up there, I think it worked out pretty good for The Rock.
A little bit.
Yeah, so if you smell what he was cooking very early at that point. That's for darn sure. So, all right, so good. Listen, I thought the XFL last year, if it wasn't for the COVID, I really would have thought that they would have come back for a second season because there was a lot of things a lot of people liked that they did. I enjoyed the communication when there was a play on the field that was under review, and you hear the communication between the ref and the guys up in the booth and what they're looking for and all that. I thought that was great. Hearing the communication about calls being called in from the sideline to the quarterback, XYZ point, Omaha stereo, did nothing for me because it meant nothing.
Yeah.
You couldn't understand it. But things like that with the booth, I thought was great. And again, if it wasn't for the XFL 1.0, the camera that slides on the glide over the field during the NFL games, the XFL started that.
Yeah.
So great innovations that XFL 1.0 started that NFL today is now using. XFL 2.0 had a lot of great things, and I'll be interested in seeing what will continue, what will be brought back, maybe expansion.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it because The Rock's involved with it. How could you not be?
True that. They have the money they can put almost anything behind it to make it as successful as he wants to.
Yeah, exactly. All right, next topic. Bella Twins. Bella Twins activate. As you all know, probably, they were both pregnant at the same time. Twins gave birth a day apart, both having boys. On July was the 31st.
That's crazy. Within 24 hours of each other, they gave birth to kids.
Yeah, Nikki on the 31st. Bree had hers on the 1st of August, which is interesting because Bree announced her pregnancy first, and then here's Nikki, and then Nikki's baby was born first, which is kind of interesting that it happened that way. But I don't think Nikki's come out. They haven't come out with their name yet, have they? They haven't. I haven't seen it.
I saw the boys or her name, but I couldn't tell you how to pronounce it. You can tell the man or what's her boyfriend?
Artemis.
You can tell Artem named him because it's like one of those names.
Okay, so it's from his background. Yeah. But I hadn't seen anything being announced, so that's new to me that actually something was announced.
That's the first I'm hearing about it. But
and did we hear what Bree's baby was named? Because
I did not.
Because they haven't announced that one either, right?
All we know is that they both had boys.
Yeah, well, good for them. I know Daniel Bryan Danielson really was hoping for a son, so I'm glad that happened. Hey, I just want to remind everybody, not only can you watch us as you are for the most part on Facebook, but of course you can watch us on our YouTube channel, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, Periscope, GoLive.Vegas, a Go Live mobile app. And
figure out how to say the first name on the second line.
Oh, okay. Can I buy a vowel, please? Chigvintsev. Shigventsev. Now.
It seems like you have a little problem understanding the English language.
It's not even the English language.
What? That's where you need the what?
What?
Where would the nickname be in that? Like, what would you call him for short?
Hey, bro. What's up?
Hey, vowel, come over here. Consonant, come over here. My goodness gracious. Well, it just amazes me what name. I granted, obviously they named him after Artemis's heritage and stuff, and that's cool.
Yeah.
But what happened to just simple names that you can pronounce? I mean, when did we stop losing? When did we stop that trend of having names you could pronounce?
Couldn't be as bad as Elon Musk's kid.
Oh, my God. That's all symbols. That's a great point. That's all symbols for crying out loud.
That kid's nickname is going to be Cha-Ching.
It probably is. It probably is. My goodness. If they keep getting cars out, and what was the other thing? Of course, we got the tunnel here in Vegas that he's building.
SpaceX and Tesla. And
jeez Louise. Chief is in the house, apparently.
The Chief.
As I see Thomas Burnett saying hello to him, so I'm guessing Chief is in the house somewhere, probably on the watch party comments. All right, we're expecting a call any moment from our guest tonight here in the next couple of minutes.
Yes, sir.
So we ask that you refrain from calling into the show at this time so we can make sure the phone line is available. But that doesn't mean you can't still continue to put your questions or comments into the chat rooms, which we are all monitoring our watch parties. And just as important, send us a live tweet. We can put it up on the screen. We can ask this of ask your question of our guest using hashtag Thoughts Count Anywhere. And of course, don't forget to check out our website, thoughtscountanywhere.com. All right, last topic before our guest calls in, perhaps. Adam Cole went from being the longest reigning NXT champion to feuding with an XFL punter. What the hell's going on with that? Work or reality?
It's totally a work. It's just a waste of Adam Cole's talents. Why would you? I kind of get it to a point, but it's Adam Cole, and I guess it's to get his name maybe in the mainstream before they put him on the main roster. But he puts on such great matches. Why would you
Waste
waste
his
your
talent.
time putting him against Pat McAfee when you can raise the talent of the NXT roster before he goes on to Raw or SmackDown?
I don't. You use the word mainstream. I don't know if Pat McAfee is a big enough name to push Adam Cole into mainstream, because I think as of the recent last couple of years, McAfee's been seen more on wrestling.
Yeah.
You know, doing the pre-show stuff and all of that. And I don't know. I got to be honest with you. I kind of forgot he was a punter in the NFL, though one of the best punters when he played. And if I'm not mistaken, I want to say Buffalo, I think was his team. But I don't know. I would thought there'd be better mainstream topics, people that you can get Cole over in mainstream. So
It's kind of funny that he's like the player of the decade in that position, and most people still don't know who he is.
exactly. And that's why, I don't know. I kind of want to say it's a work a little bit, but to what benefit, like you said, for even Adam Cole, let alone for McAfee? Now, they're supposed to be talking about, I think, tonight on NXT. I think there's supposed to be some segment with them to address this. But I don't know. It just seems a little out there. Maybe for ratings for McAfee's show?
I think it'll raise that more than NXT. So
Yeah, I mean, there's no benefit there, right? I mean,
I don't get the whole thing. I just hope Adam Cole comes out better in the end of it somehow.
I hope so. I hope there's a payoff somewhere for these guys, you know? So, interesting. Your thoughts? I mean, Jason, on McAfee and Cole?
The way that Adam Cole is being used in this, it's just, he's so much more talented. He doesn't need to really be kind of like pushed down to the back burner.
Who's that? Cole?
Cole.
You shouldn't be pushing a guy down who's your longest reigning champion. If anything, you should be pushing him up to the main roster.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And after holding the belt for 400 plus days, why would he need, using your thought process, why in God's name would they need to put him to be with a Pat McAfee for any mainstream push when he's just held your title for 400 plus days? You shouldn't need that at that point. I mean, would we see something as stupid as that with when they're ready to bring Karrion Kross up to the main roster? I would hope not.
I would genuinely hope they don't do anything like that. And I just hope Vince doesn't get like his claws into Adam Cole too much. But even I've heard they say Vince said he's like the modern day Shawn Michaels. And Vince has still got a thing for Shawn Michaels. So hopefully he gets pushed the same way.
Chief corrects me that it was the Colts he punted for. At least I knew it was an AFC team from 2009 to 16. And Thomas Burnett puts in there, wait until you see the end of NXT. So apparently our questions are going to be answered regarding the end of NXT in terms of those two going at it. All right, I'm almost afraid to go to a break because I don't want our guests to be calling in and waiting while we're on break. So why don't we just keep moving? What's that?
Go ahead.
Go to break?
Yeah.
He's a little delayed?
Yep.
All right. So with that, we're going to turn it over to our producer. We're going to go to break right now. You are watching and listening to Thoughts Count Anywhere. I am Aaron. That is Matt. That is Jason. And we'll be right back.
Old world recipes, old world style, old world taste. Burnt Offerings at 3909 West Sahara Avenue is where the old world meets Las Vegas for a dining experience like no other. Burnt Offerings, where foodies dine.
Just missed them. Tell them to call back. All right. We cut that last commercial short because as we were wrapping up that last commercial, our phone line was ringing and we tried to grab it as we were wrapping up the commercial. So we're going to ask our guest. Huh? I don't hear anything. Hello, caller. Oh, I guess he is there.
Deebo!
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
He is here. How are you?
Why didn't y'all call me, man?
Yeah.
Me pressing buttons.
Hey,
I can't wait to meet you. Put you in my next film, The Kill Scene. Y'all up here pushing buttons.
Hey, Deebo, this is Jason. How you doing, sir?
Hey, God bless you, Jason.
I'm so sorry. I went through Bear and Piercy and everybody at the place to get a hold of you. I would have loved to have had your number to call you. So sorry about that, my man. Thank you for doing this for us. I really do appreciate it. I'm a huge fan, as well as everyone here at TCA. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Hey, love y'all too, man. Appreciate the love.
You got Aaron Phillips here and Matt Mullen, and I'm a longtime fan of yours. I've been a longtime follower of pro wrestling for many, many years, and your rise through WWE, of course, to mainstream movies and stuff. Tell us a little bit about the ride of when you got started in WWE, what it was like, and how that experience helped to become the star that you are now, really.
No, basically, well, me, Hulk, and Mr. T, we all got the same agent. I went and auditioned for a role, and I got it. I went in as Zeus, though. I went in and auditioned, no shirt, the boots, everything. So
Right.
I walked in, Vincent McMahon just gave it to me, and here we go.
Wow, just like that.
Yeah,
That's
you
That's
know,
great.
I've been blessed to be in about 230 something movies, and so God is good, man.
Absolutely. I mean, you're just as we were talking about it before we went on the air when Jason shared with us that you were coming on. You know, and I say this with all love and respect, man. You're a walking condominium that has that presence that when you're in front of a camera, you have nothing but command of the scene, the people, and what's going on around you. And that's a great talent to have, man. And God, I tip my cap to you just to have that natural born ability to do something like that.
I appreciate you, man. Yeah, man, talk about my clothing line, man, while I'm in town, man.
All right,
Why
go.
you ain't talking about my clothing line, man?
It's next on the list. Now, will you guys stop
John,
pissing him off and talk
CEO,
about his clothing line?
I'm here with the CEO of Pineapple Express. I'm a spokesperson for Pineapple Express. I'm a spokesperson for Tim Headstone, the Headstone Whisperer. Yeah, man, so I'm in town. You better talk about my clothing line before I come over and make you change your name to Victim, man.
Hey, Deebo,
My name's Jason Piper, by the way.
Deebo, I wanted you to talk about it. I wanted you to plug your clothing line. Definitely, we were going to hit that up. We have the flyer up, letting people know where you're going to be tomorrow.
Yeah, tell them where I'm at, man. Tell them where I'm at. Then
You are going to be at the place at the Boulevard Mall tomorrow from 4 to 6. You will be debuting your new clothing line, as well as doing a meet and greet with the fans. Go on, Deebo.
Yeah, I'm gonna do an autograph session, give away some pictures, and take some selfies. Everybody bring your mask and bring your sanitizer. You know, we're gonna do this stuff right in order. But I'm gonna still be that Deebo cat tomorrow. I'm gonna do
absolutely.
a couple Monster energy drinks, and we're gonna go dark. Okay.
Hey, Deebo, can I get that
and we're
for
gonna
you?
get some giveaways for Pineapple Express. I'm a spokes in LA.
Hey, Deebo, can I get that 40 from your homie?
Man, you better. Hey, man, you starting to. You know, I'm gonna tell the audience now. And that I don't drink, I don't smoke. I'm a spokesperson for a cannabis company.
Whoever writes the check, screw it.
That was apple juice in the 40-ounce box.
Go ahead, Matt. Talk to Tiny for us.
All right, well, all this
Wait,
stuff
hold
you.
on a second. I'm here with my brother, Sean, that runs the CEO. So tell him what I'm a spokesperson for, Sean. Tell him.
Oh, well, he's a spokesperson. We're publicly traded, actually. We're Pineapple Link, so I'm probably the youngest black CEO of a cannabis company in the country.
Okay.
Yahoo Finance just did a spread about me about a week ago, but Tiny is definitely helping out a lot. We own the trademark and the .com, THC, and also Pineapple Express for both. So we got a lot of different facets going on, but he's definitely gave us a big skyrocket here in the last 6-7 months. Or no, longer than that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, almost a year. So we actually met out here. We kicked it off at MJ BizCon. We almost got kicked out of there because he was riding a Pineapple Express bicycle through the convention center in December. But and we had some TMZ. TMZ caught us delivering. I had Deebo delivering every Friday for 420. Every Friday in April, we did a special delivery to a contest winner. for it was just trying to spread some love and some joy to this weird time. But yeah, he's definitely hooked up with the right people. We're not a small shop. We're publicly traded, man.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
so that's
I hope you
one of the
guys.
companies, man. It's springboard from that. That was the first company I signed with, and then I signed with Tim, the cemetery Headstone Whisper. Then I'm with what's that company called? Meridoc, to make the chip.
Marijuana.
Marijuana.
Marijuana. So basically, they have chairs that are like they resemble the style, the Adirondack chairs. So, but the back of it, instead of being that slated latch, they have it's a marijuana leaves. It's very cool.
Yeah,
I love those chairs.
Yeah, they're really nice. I got them at my house, man, and I'm really enjoying them. And we're gonna do some cross advertising, but right now I'm gonna promote this clothing line real hard in Vegas. I love y'all for loving on me, man. I appreciate that.
And just remember, this is the place. So Big Tiny has this new clothing line. We see it as a big three-way marketing for Big Percy. This is his store. This is a relaunch. A lot of urban brands. So we're happy to bring that to Las Vegas. And also for we're gonna, like I said, Deebo said, we're gonna give some giveaways back for PineappleExpress.com for all those LA visitors and transients that are here. They can take some coupons back, and they can get their cannabis delivered in under 2 hours. And we do cashless electronic payments as well. So
maybe one thing. I'm sorry.
Hold on.
Maybe one thing on the back of those chairs, we can get a Thoughts Count Anywhere patch also on there, as long as you're doing all that great marketing.
Get one on the back. Get one on the back.
All right, Matt has.
You got jokes, man.
You want NASCAR patches and all these other.
Oh, you got jokes, man.
Hey, well, listen. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask. At least, come on now. Matt's got a couple of questions. We have some questions that have come in our chat room, so it may take us in a little different direction. But we got fans that have questions for you.
Hey, Tiny, I've been a big fan of yours for years. It's awesome to have you on the show. Out of all the crazy movies you've done and all the big productions, what's your favorite movie you've done or project you've been a part of?
Go to TBN. That's a Christian broadcasting station. Go on in line and pull up One Night with the King.
Okay.
It's a $19 million film we did in India with Omar Sharif, the one on Oscar.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
The one on Oscar. And John Rhys Davis and John Nobles from Lords of the Rings. So pull that up. They said I had the performance of the film. That's my best work. My favorite film I did was Armed and Dangerous with the great late superstar John Candy.
Oh,
he was amazing.
What a great funny movie. What was it like to work with the Candyman?
We improv the whole film.
I don't doubt it. My God, what was it like to work with him?
We improv all of Friday too.
Wow.
Yep. So I like doing that. I like, Chris Nolan when I did Dark Knight.
Also another great one.
I asked him, could everybody pray at the end of the scene? He said, yes, no problem.
Right.
It's awesome to work with I've been extremely blessed to work with the biggest directors in the world. Quentin Tarantino, Luc Besson, James Foley, the late John Falkenheimer. They did Attica with Burt Lancaster.
Right.
I don't work with a lot of big Gary Gray. Yeah, he did Dead Friday. Yeah, so I've been blessed, man.
The classic names, everybody from Omar Sharif to John Candy. First of all, that's one end of the spectrum to the other, but still classic performers in their own right. And to have that as part of your resume, to have done great work with those folks. Listen, God bless you. I think in a lot of ways, mainstream in some ways, although Batman, for a guy like myself who's a huge Batman fan, seeing you in that role was perfect. Do you feel you get typecasted for those big, heavy guys that play roles like that when you have all these talents?
I'm a black heavy, and then what you do? My grandmother raised me a little while. She was Lucille Ball's maid, and she told me, whatever you do, just be the best at it. So if you're gonna make me happy, I'm gonna be the best damn black heavy in Hollywood. And you got to notice one thing: I don't wear no dresses and stuff like that. So I don't. Yeah, I'm a different kind of cat. I don't demean my brand. And I'm so thankful to be running with the CEO. The CEO of Pineapple Express. He got 4 master's degrees. He's he's a Marine, because once a Marine, always a Marine.
Right.
And it's just amazing that God put these kind of people around me. My spiritual hedges are very powerful right now, and I can give you something that Mike Epps told me. Ice Cube just finished another script, so y'all stay tuned.
Right on.
I can't wait.
I think we have one more question, and then we'll ask again for the information where you'll be tomorrow, and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
So, Jason, go for it.
Tiny, you worked with, like you said, some of the greats in Hollywood as well as TV, but on the passing of John Witherspoon, what was it like working with him?
You know, you take things for granted, and his funeral, everybody came out for his funeral, from David Letterman, Cedric Antenna, Ice Cube, Chris Tucker. I mean, it was a who's who up in that place, and and Ice Cube just got the cussing, because he that stupid ass CEO over at New Line, Toby,
Right.
he messed everything up,
Absolutely.
and so Ice Cube didn't finish another script. I think we're gonna go around his ass, and you see me starting to use curse words because I can never get to work with him again. And,
Right.
He stopped me at the Burbank airport, and he said, "Tony, you got to do your merchandising, your clothing lines and stuff." He didn't want to tell me that. He said, because he told me he was making $150,000 a year just doing the T-shirts and stuff from the movie.
Oh, wow.
And so this is why I'm here now, to do my clothing line and the Deebo, Big Tiny Deebo clothing line, and got my business partner Enoch with me, and we're gonna have a good time. And I just want everybody to come out that love Friday, because I think the whole world loves Friday, and just spend some time, and we break bread and have some laughs together. And y'all buy some of my clothes, or go in your damn pocket and take all your damn money.
Well, Tiny, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on the show. A big shout out for you, the place, Sugar Bear Entertainment for hooking it up with you to get us on, for getting you on here today. Again, you will be at the Boulevard Mall. The store is called The Place from 4 to 6 p.m. Come down, face mask. To meet Deebo, you need to buy his clothing, guys. Buy his clothing,
or he'll kill you.
Yeah,
Simple.
He's still got that bicycle somewhere.
Hey man, don't be doing no jokes. hey, don't be doing no jokes now. You know what happened to Bye Felicia? You know what I'm saying? hey, y'all.
I'll see you tomorrow. Please don't hurt me.
All right,
y'all
Tiny.
come on out and hang out with me, okay?
Definitely
Yeah,
will.
I'll definitely be there.
Tiny, thank you so much. Again, all the best with your clothing line, and I appreciate you coming on Thoughts Count Anywhere. Thank you so much, Tiny.
I love you, man.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's an honor.
Wow.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
There you go. I mean, I have chills sitting here. I tell you what, I just learned a lot in that 10, 15 minutes of chatting with him. I didn't realize he's been in 250 plus movies.
I didn't know that either. That's
wow.
crazy.
That's a heck of a resume. I mean, God, listen, wonderful to talk with him. And listen, I just want to wish him all the best on all. Oh, it sounds like Vince McMahon here. The best of all of his endeavors. But good for him. Good for him. All right. You know what? We got a lot to still talk about. So let's go back. Let's go right through to the top of the hour. Burnt Offerings. We want to suggest you go to them for any of your tailgate parties. We've got SummerSlam coming up. Give them a call, 702-848-BURN. They have a lot of great food that you can use. And, of course, Power Play Sports Collectibles over at the Boulevard Mall for your memorabilia and wrestling collectibles. PowerPlaySportsCards.com is the website.
We're kind of flustered here.
We are. The phone lines are now back open, 702-329-6947. If you want to give us a call, thoughts, comments, thoughts do count anywhere at this point in the show, so we'll go from there. All right, let's keep going. Jason.
Real quick.
Yes.
To hit on just a split little thing. Also, too, on Friday at the place,
Okay.
they are having Phase on Love, Big Worm from Friday.
Okay.
He is also doing a clothing line that he is debuting there. So he's doing a meet and greet sign as well as what Tiny is doing
Right on.
as well.
Cool. We should find out how long Tiny Deebo Zeus will be in town for. Is he in through the weekend?
I believe he is.
Maybe Scott can wrangle him to come on the show Saturday morning on Power Play Sports Collectibles Show.
May be able to do that for you.
Scott. Okay. All right, cool. All right, let's get back on task because we only have about 10 minutes left already. 702-329-6947. All right, let's get back to the Impact AEW report. Matt.
Heath Slater lost to Moose last night, so he didn't get an Impact contract. That sounds a little familiar.
Just a bit.
He has like the same storyline as WWE, which I thought they were going to use him better, or at least he's getting TV time at least.
How about just use him?
Yeah.
Just use him. You know, I mean, he's the one I feel sorry the most for because you got Drew McIntyre doing his thing and has done well. Jinder Mahal. And then there's Heath. And the best we got is tag teaming with Rhino, though he was a champion. And I got kids? I mean, come on. Really?
I mean, they were teasing that on Impact already, him and Rhino. And then now they're like basically just copying the WWE storyline of him trying to get a contract. So.
Not good. No, I'm not impressed with that at all. So, next topic.
It's now I see what you mean
by
when you do an interview with somebody and you get so excited.
Well, that sounded
There
even
we
better.
go.
That's even better.
There we go.
Well, I hate to use a word that many wrestlers or that many people within the wrestling world use, and that's a mark. You become a fan. You're a fan of these people you're talking to, and it does become difficult at times to separate yourself from being the interviewer on respect to your show and not kind of go. You're like. And it does become difficult. We all need to experience that. We do that.
Yeah.
You know, and it's okay that you're kind of like.
It felt good to honestly be able to not only say that I got one of the biggest names in Hollywood to come on our show, but to sit there and talk with them and just like.
Listen, I remember I did a show on Fox Sports a couple of years ago. It was called The Good Guys of Pro Wrestling, and I got to talk with the likes of Ron Simmons and Tony Atlas, all on the phone. Didn't meet them in studio, but I was the same way. I mean, I was like, I got off there. I'm like, I can't believe I just spoke to Tony Atlas. I can't believe I just spoke to a guy who took one word in the WWE universe and made it his own, and Ron Simmons with the word damn.
Exactly.
I mean, it flusters you. And that's why today, after 15 years, I go through my Rolodex on my phone saying, I can't believe I got these names in my phone because the real me prior to doing all of this would have never even known who those people were.
Right.
It's like pinch. So I'm good. I'm glad.
I remember there was a couple names, like when I was at Caesar's Palace and I got face-to-face with The Rock. And I was like, I'm going to say this, this, and this. And as soon as he was like,
and
thanks for being a fan. And I was like,
you froze.
I don't know what to say. Holy crap, that's The Rock.
Right. Well, when I was...
What The Rock is cooking.
Could you imagine that promo for TCA?
Oh, my God.
I wish I had this podcast when I met like all these like Hulk Hogan.
I just got goosebumps. Listen to that.
Well, speaking of promos, Matt, you and I will get one from Tiny for the shows tomorrow.
There you go.
Epic.
When I was at CAC last year for the first time, The Rock's mom was there.
Yes.
And when I was in the exhibit room with all the vendors and stuff, I was talking, ironically, with April Hom from Glow, who was a guest here not too long ago. And it's like I kept seeing her out of the corner of my eye, and yet I didn't want to disengage from my conversation with April. And by the time I turned around, The Rock's mom was gone. And I'm like, oh, no, I missed The Rock's mom. And it wasn't even The Rock, but I wanted to meet the mom, you know?
She's such a sweet lady. We used to see her like every year. They'd always like print pictures out of The Rock. She'd always want she collects everything like The Rock does.
Of course.
Which The Rock thinks is totally embarrassing still. But I always print like pictures out for her, and she's like so appreciative all the time.
Absolutely. Listen, listen, we're all sitting here as children of parents.
Yep.
Okay. My dad is still in town. My mom is up in heaven. But listen, I just as I do with my daughters, I'm telling my daughters about how proud I am of them. When you guys have kids, you're going to do the same thing, just as your parents have done and do for you. It's not different. It's just that for us, it's like normal life for us.
Yeah.
You know, we don't have The Rock as a name. We don't have that big picture. We're not mainstream yet. We're getting there, hopefully. But it just makes you realize how we appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, so, all right, before we get wishy-washy here and everybody turns away from the show because we're going to bring out tissue soon, we only have a few minutes left. So, anything left in the Impact AA report we want to cover before we go to... No, okay,
No.
you guys quickly... I didn't even have to finish the sentence.
No.
Did we want to talk about the Batman thing real quickly? Did we want to give
Go
them
ahead.
a pop?
Go for it.
Go for it.
So last week, can you bring up that picture I sent you? So last week, before we started the show, Jason and Matt and Scott both know I'm a huge Batman fan, ironically wearing the shirt tonight. And I got wind of the fact that this piece, why don't you talk about who is putting this piece up and give us the background?
All right, so the piece that is in question here.
In question? You make it sound like it was stolen.
You stole it.
No, I didn't. I eBayed it.
At that price, you kind of did.
But I eBayed it.
The lovely lady that was doing a bid on it with the auction, her name is Catherine Hicklin. She has been in quite a few TV shows. She plays Stevie Mason in Knight Rider, as well as is married to Todd Fisher, who is the brother of Carrie Fisher and the son of Debbie Reynolds.
Very, very connected family. So anyway, she has a lot of memorabilia, I guess.
Absolutely.
Right? And so Jason comes in the studio last week and he says, "Did you see this thing? Did you see this thing that's up for auction by this person?" I'm like, "No." And he shows it to me, and opening bid on this was $10. And it had $10 increments. Now, it opened last Wednesday, right?
Right.
Before we went on the air. And it was ending tonight. And it just so happens I'm wearing one of my favorite Batman shirts, was totally coincidental. The bid was ending at 5 o'clock tonight. Batman. That's right, I am Batman. And 5 minutes before 5, because it ended at 5 o'clock, I guess she did her show, and they were going to make the announcement. I forgot all about it. And I'm scrolling through, and I finally find the link, and I'm looking at what the highest price was, and the lowest. And when I say I eBayed it, you know how you just watch those
Snipe
bids?
it at like 30 seconds left.
I'm like, all right, I got it, boom. So like 2 minutes before 5, when I saw what the high bid was, I snuck my last bid in there, and I will not publicly say how much I paid. Otherwise, I will not be allowed in my... Right, exactly. Otherwise, I will not be allowed into my home tonight. But I'm proud to say I won that to add to my... And quite frankly, I grew up on Adam West.
Yes.
Listen, when he passed away, 3, 4, 5 years ago, should have been declared a national holiday, in my opinion. But I grew up on Adam West. I really loved it for the fact that all those pictures you saw were signed except for one that was George Clooney, and they have COAs for all the signatures. So thank you for bringing that up to me.
Wow. No
and
problem.
I'm very
great, inspiring legend that you made up.
What?
I don't know how to take that. But I'm proud to be adding that to my Batman collection, and hopefully my wife's not listening as I'll sneak it in the house when she's at work. But anyway.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, well, like that other item I showed you guys yesterday, which is still not public. Anyway, all right, so we have like 2 minutes left. So real quickly, anything quickly on the pop culture list that you guys want to cover?
Want to send prayers to Lebanon for all the victims of that gigantic explosion the other day. I've seen a bunch of videos of like the aftermath and everything else.
How about just the videos of the explosion?
It rocked some cars on the freeway.
Oh, man. After the explosion, that plume that just kind of rolled through towards the cameras. My God,
it looked like
crazy.
a nuclear explosion. They said it was like 7,200 tons of, was it ammonium nitrate, which is highly explosive. So,
yeah, that was said. All right, real quickly, let's bring up tomorrow's event for Zeus, Tiny, Deebo.
Yes, sir.
So go for it.
All right, so just to reiterate to everybody out there, tomorrow from 4 to 6 p.m., must wear a mask at the place, inside the Boulevard Mall. Deebo will be doing a shop and meet and greet with his clothing line, as well as when you go in there, buy a piece of clothing line, you will be able to get an autograph and a picture with him. Make sure you wear a mask, people. You cannot go in without wearing your mask.
Otherwise, he'll kick your ass. So, all right, last comment. Oh, I'm hearing voices in my head of another kind. It's getting red in here. Real quickly, closing comments.
Lord, everybody be safe out there. Coming out and see all of us and Deebo at the place tomorrow.
Jason.
As long as Faison Love on Friday.
Same thing. Be safe out there, people. And have a good night.
Be aware of the mandible claw. Don't become like Alexa Bliss. I'm Aaron Phillips for Jason, for Matt, for AA Ron, for Scott, taking care of business. Be kind to each other. Why is that? We're all we got. We'll see you next week right here on Thoughts Count Anywhere.